This video is for educational and storytelling purposes. Names and some details may be changed. I found my father's second phone 3 days after his funeral. It was wrapped in a plastic bag, taped under the bathroom sink in his study. The bathroom no one ever used. The study he kept locked when we were kids. I was looking for his will. I found something else. My name is Maria Costello. I'm 34 years old. I teach middle school English in Montclair, New Jersey. I have a mortgage, a rescue dog, a boyfriend who wants to get married. I thought I knew exactly who I was. I thought I knew exactly who my father was. I was wrong about everything. My father, Vincent Costello, died of a heart attack on a Tuesday morning in October. He was 67. He collapsed in the driveway of our family home in North Caldwell while getting the newspaper. My mother found him 20 minutes later. By the time the ambulance arrived, he was gone. The funeral was huge. Over 300 people. I didn't recognize half of them. Men in expensive suits. Women with designer handbags. They hugged my mother like they'd known her for decades. They shook my hand and said things like, "Your father was a great man. Your father helped a lot of people. Your father will be missed." I smiled. I thanked them. I had no idea who they were. My father owned a waste management company, Costello Sanitation Services. That's what I told people growing up. That's what I believed. He worked long hours. He traveled for business. He provided well for us. We had a nice house, good schools, family vacations to Florida every winter. He was quiet, stern. He didn't talk much about his work. But he was my dad. He taught me to ride a bike. He came to my school plays. He walked me down the aisle at my wedding to Danny. My first marriage, the one that lasted 11 months. After Danny left, my father didn't say "I told you so." He just helped me move my stuff out of that apartment in Hoboken. Carried boxes up 3 flights of stairs without complaining. Afterward, we got pizza. He looked at me across the table and said, "You're stronger than you think you are, Maria." Don't forget that. I never forgot. But 3 days after we buried him, sitting on the floor of his study with that phone in my hands, I realized I didn't know him at all. The phone was old, a flip phone. The battery was dead. I found the charger in the same plastic bag. I plugged it in. I waited. The screen lit up. No password. I opened the call log. 217 calls in the last month of his life. All to numbers I didn't recognize. All outgoing. Almost no incoming. The texts were worse. Coded language. Phrases that made no sense. Shipment delayed. The thing we discussed. He's handled. The NY situation is clean. My hands were shaking. I scrolled through the contacts. Names I'd never heard. Sal, Polly, Frankie Bones, Big Mike. No last names. Just first names and nicknames. And then I saw one that made my blood stop. Uncle Tommy. My Uncle Tommy. My father's younger brother. The one who always had cash. The one who drove a Cadillac and wore gold chains and smelled like cigars and cologne. The one my mother barely tolerated at family gatherings. The one my father argued with behind closed doors. I opened the text thread with Uncle Tommy. The last message was from 2 days before my father died. "Vincent, we need to talk. The commission is asking questions. Call me." I didn't understand. Commission? Questions about what? I kept scrolling. Further back. Weeks. Months. The messages got worse. More explicit. References to money. Large amounts. References to people. Warnings. Threats. I felt sick. I heard my mother's voice from downstairs. "Maria, are you still up there?" I shoved the phone into my purse. I stood up. I tried to breathe. "Coming," I called back. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I called in sick to work. I drove to my mother's house. She was in the kitchen, making coffee. She looked tired, smaller somehow. My father's death had aged her. "Mom, I need to ask you something." She turned, smiled. "Of course, honey. What is it? What did Dad actually do?" "For work?" Her smile faded. "You know what he did. The sanitation company. I know that's what he told people. But what did he really do?" She stared at me. Her hands were gripping the counter. "Maria, why are you asking this?" "I found a phone. In his study, it had messages, calls, things that don't make sense for someone who runs a garbage company. My mother's face went pale. She sat down. She didn't say anything for a long time. Mom, she looked up at me. Her eyes were wet. You shouldn't have gone through his things. That's not an answer. She wiped her eyes. Maria, your father loved you. Everything he did for this family. What did he do? She stood up. She walked to the window. She was quiet. Then she said, very softly, he was involved with people. People who weren't always good. But he protected us. He kept us separate from that life. He wanted you to have something better. I felt the room spin. Involved how? I can't talk about this. Mom, I need to know. She turned to face me. Her voice was hard now. No, you don't. You need to let this go. You need to go back to your life and forget about that phone and forget about any of this. Your father is gone. Let him rest. I can't. You have to. I left without saying goodbye. I spent the next 2 days digging. I started with public records. My father's business, Costello Sanitation Services, was registered in 1987. It had contracts with half the towns in North Jersey. Nothing unusual, but when I looked closer, I found something strange. The company had been named in 3 federal investigations over the years. Price fixing, bid rigging, allegations of ties to organized crime. All the investigations were dropped. No charges filed. I called a friend from college. Jessica Chen, she's a reporter now, works for the Star Ledger, covers crime. Jess, I need your help. Maria, oh my God, I'm so sorry about your dad. I saw the obituary. Thanks. Listen, this is going to sound crazy, but I need to know if you've ever heard of my father's company. Costello Sanitation. There was a pause. Why? I found some things. After he died, I just need to understand. She was quiet. Then she said, can we meet? We met at a diner in Bloomfield. Jessica brought a file. She slid it across the table. I shouldn't be showing you this. I opened it. Articles, photocopies, reports. My father's name appeared again and again, always in connection with the same names. The Genovese crime family, the DeCavalcanti family, New Jersey's version of the mafia. I felt like I was going to throw up. Maria, your father was connected. Everyone in the industry knew it. His company was used to launder money, to move cash, to provide legitimate income for people who needed it. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a made guy, but he was close to people who were. How close? Jessica looked at me. Her expression was careful. There are rumors that he kept records, that he knew things, details about operations, transactions, people. That's why he was never touched. He was too valuable and too dangerous. Records? A ledger, maybe digital, maybe physical. No one knows for sure. But if it exists, and if the wrong people think you have it, you're in danger. I don't have anything. Are you sure? I thought about the phone, the coded messages, the names. I need to go. Maria, wait. If you're looking into this, you need to be careful. These people don't forget. They don't forgive. I left the diner. I sat in my car. I called Uncle Tommy. He answered on the second ring. Maria, I was wondering when you'd call. We need to talk. He gave me an address. A social club in Newark. Brick building, no sign, just a door and a buzzer. I drove there in a daze. I buzzed. A man opened the door, looked me up and down. I'm here to see Tommy Costello. He stepped aside. Inside was dim, smelled like smoke and old wood. Men at card tables, low voices. They stopped talking when I walked in. Uncle Tommy was in the back, sitting at a table with a glass of something dark. He stood, hugged me. Sit, sweetheart. You want something to drink? I shook my head. I sat. He studied me. You look like your mother when you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm confused. He lit a cigarette. Your father never wanted you to know about any of this. Then tell me, please. He sighed, leaned back. Your father was a smart man. Smarter than me. Smarter than most people he dealt with. He saw opportunity where others saw risk. The garbage business was perfect. Legitimate on the surface, useful underneath. He moved money. He kept secrets. He made a lot of people very comfortable. And you? I'm not as smart as your father. I'm just loyal. I do what I'm told. I survive. Was he part of the mafia? Uncle Tommy smiled. It's not like the movies, Maria. It's not about blood oaths and honor. It's business. Your father did business with certain people. People who valued his discretion. That's all. That's not all. I found a phone, messages, names, the commission. What is that? His smile disappeared. You need to stop. I need answers. He leaned forward. The commission is a council. Representatives from the families. They mediate disputes. They make decisions. They keep the peace. Your father was useful to them. But he also knew too much. And when you know too much, you become a liability. Are you saying someone killed him? Uncle Tommy shook his head. No, your father had a heart attack. But the stress, the pressure, that's what killed him. He was carrying weight you can't imagine. And now you're picking it up. Don't. I can't just pretend I don't know. He reached across the table, grabbed my hand. Maria, listen to me. Your father kept you out of this for a reason. He loved you. If you start digging, if you start asking questions, people will notice. And they won't care that you're his daughter. They'll care that you're a risk. I pulled my hand away. I stood up. Thanks for your time, Uncle Tommy. He didn't try to stop me. I walked out, got in my car, drove home. I was numb, terrified, angry. When I got to my apartment, there was a man standing by my door. He was tall, mid-50s, expensive suit. He smiled when he saw me. Maria Costello? Who are you? My name is Agent David Ramos. FBI. I was hoping we could talk. He showed me his badge. It looked real. I don't have anything to say to you. I think you do. Can we go inside? No. He nodded. Okay, we can talk here. Your father was a person of interest in an ongoing investigation. We believe he kept detailed records of his business dealings, financial transactions, names, dates. We think those records still exist. And we think you might know where they are. I don't. You found a phone. My stomach dropped. How do you know that? We've been monitoring your father for years. After he died, we obtained a warrant to review certain communications. We know about the phone. We know you've been asking questions. We know you met with your uncle. Maria, if you cooperate with us, we can protect you. If you don't, you're on your own. Protect me from what? From the people who want what your father had. The ledger, the records. They'll come looking, and they won't ask politely. I don't have any ledger. Agent Ramos handed me a card. If you find anything, or if you feel unsafe, call me, anytime. He walked away. I went inside, locked the door, sat on the floor. I was shaking. I pulled out the phone. I went through it again. Slowly, every message, every call, looking for clues, looking for something that made sense. And then I saw it. A voicemail, from 3 weeks before my father died. I hadn't noticed it before. I pressed play. The voice was unfamiliar, rough, angry. Vincent, you're making a mistake. You think you can walk away? You think you can just retire and we forget? You know how this works. You're in until you're out. And the only way out is a box. Think about your family. Think about Maria. This isn't over. The message ended. I listened to it again. And again. Someone had threatened him. Threatened me. I called my mother. Mom, I need you to tell me the truth. Was Dad trying to leave? She didn't answer right away. Then, softly, yes. When? The last few months. He was tired, Maria. He wanted out. He wanted to spend time with me. With you. He wanted a different life. But they wouldn't let him. Who? She started crying. I can't talk about this. Mom, please. He told me if anything happened to him, I should tell you to check the lake house. The lake house. We had a cabin in the Poconos. My father bought it years ago. We used to go there in the summer. What's at the lake house? I don't know. He just said you'd understand. I drove to Pennsylvania that night. It took 2 hours. The cabin was dark, cold. I hadn't been there in years. I let myself in with the spare key under the mat. I searched every room, every closet, every drawer. Nothing. I sat on the couch. Frustrated, exhausted. And then I remembered. The shed. My father had a tool shed out back. He spent hours there, tinkering, fixing things, told us to stay out. I grabbed a flashlight, went outside. The shed was locked. I found a rock, broke the lock. Inside was dusty, full of tools, old furniture, boxes, and in the back corner, under a tarp, a safe. It was small, fireproof. It had a combination lock. I tried my birthday, nothing. My parents' anniversary, nothing. My father's birthday, nothing. I sat there, thinking, and then I tried the date he bought the cabin. The date engraved on a little plaque by the front door. The safe clicked open. Inside was a ledger, a thick notebook, handwritten, pages and pages of names, dates, amounts, transactions, payments, bribes. It was all there, decades of records, proof of everything, and underneath the ledger was a letter, addressed to me. I opened it, my father's handwriting. Maria, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone and you didn't listen to your mother. I don't blame you. You're stubborn, like me. This ledger is my insurance. It's also my burden. I kept it because I knew one day I might need leverage. I knew one day someone might come for me. I was right, but I didn't expect my heart to give out first. I'm not proud of the life I lived. I'm not proud of the choices I made. But I did it for you. For your mother, so you could have opportunities I never had. If you're smart, you'll destroy this. Burn it. Forget you ever saw it. Walk away. But if you're like me, you won't. You'll want justice. You'll want answers. You'll want to make things right. If that's your choice, be careful. These people are dangerous. They don't forgive. They don't forget. I love you. I always have. Dad. I sat there for a long time, holding the letter, holding the ledger. I had two choices. Burn it, walk away, go back to my life. Or use it, expose them, finish what my father started. I thought about my students, my dog, my boyfriend, my quiet, simple life. And then I thought about the voicemail, the threat, the fear my father lived with every day. I made my choice. I called Agent Ramos. He answered on the first ring. Maria, I have what you're looking for. But I need guarantees, protection, immunity for my mother, and I want them all to pay. There was a pause. Then, we can do that. Where are you? I told him. He said he'd be there in 2 hours. I waited, sitting in that cold cabin, the ledger on my lap. I thought about my father, about the man I thought he was, about the man he actually was. He wasn't a hero, he wasn't a villain, he was complicated, flawed, human, and now I was finishing his story. 2 hours later, headlights, Agent Ramos and 3 other agents. They came inside. Ramos looked at the ledger. This is everything? I nodded. He smiled. Maria, you just gave us the biggest RICO case in 20 years. We're going to take down an entire network. What happens now? Now you disappear for a while. We'll set you up with protection. New name, new city, until the trials are over. It could take years. And my mother? She'll be protected too. I promise. I handed him the ledger. He looked at me. You did the right thing. I wasn't sure. I still wasn't sure. They drove me to a safe house in Virginia. Small apartment. Bland. Secure. I wasn't allowed to contact anyone. Not my mother. Not my friends. Not my boyfriend. I was alone. The indictments came 6 months later. 43 people arrested, including Uncle Tommy, including men I'd seen at my father's funeral. The news called it the biggest mob takedown in decades. I watched from that apartment. Numb. The trials lasted 3 years. I testified twice, both times remotely. Both times I saw Uncle Tommy in the courtroom. He didn't look at me. Most of them took plea deals. A few went to prison. Uncle Tommy got 15 years. When it was over, Agent Ramos came to see me. You're free to go. Resume your life. We'll help you relocate if you want. Or you can go home. I thought about home, Montclair, my apartment, my dog, but I couldn't go back. Too many ghosts. Too many questions. I moved to Portland, changed my name, started over. I don't teach anymore. I work at a bookstore. I live alone. I don't talk about my past. Sometimes I think about my father, about the letter, about his choices. Sometimes I wonder if I did the right thing. I took down an empire. I brought justice. I exposed the truth. But I also destroyed my family. I lost my mother. She died 2 years after the trials. Heartbroken, alone, I lost my identity, and I live every day knowing that somewhere out there, someone remembers. Someone blames me. Someone wants revenge. I sleep with the lights on. I check over my shoulder. I wait, because my father was right about one thing. These people don't forget, and neither do I. My name was Maria Costello. Now I'm someone else, but I still carry his ledger in my mind. Every name, every crime, every choice, and I wonder, if I could go back to that moment in the shed, would I make the same choice? I don't know, I just know I can't undo it. This is my father's legacy. And mine, this is the truth, and it cost me everything.